Welcome to our channel. The first South African attack on FAPLA's positions east of the Cuito River commenced on the 13th of January, when 21 Brigade's forward positions were bombarded by G5s, MRLs, and mortars, causing a bushfire that engulfed the area. Leading the assault, supported by 61 Mech and UNITA, 4 Psi came under heavy mortar and BM-21 fire as they approached the minefields surrounding FAPLA's forward positions, with 1 Ratel lost to a mine. FAPLA put up stronger resistance than anticipated, with 1 bunker repeatedly firing at the Olifants before it was destroyed by a single Hesh round, killing all 20 occupants. After about an hour of intense fighting, FAPLA forces withdrew, leaving behind at least 60 dead. Meanwhile, commanders in Cuito Cuanavale responded to the attack, dispatching 5 tanks from 16 Brigade to reinforce 21 Brigade, while MiG-23s from Mech launched the first of several airstrikes against the South Africans on that day. Despite some difficulty, the South Africans continued their advance toward 21 Brigade's HQ, abandoning another Ratel and 3 Olifants, which became immobilized on the slopes leading up to the position. There was a brief moment when the reinforcements from 16 Brigade threatened to flank the South Africans, but when the force veered north, 4 Psi launched a final assault on 21 Brigade's HQ. They positioned 61 Mech on high ground to the north of the Angola River to intercept any retreating FAPLA forces. 21 Brigade's HQ was a heavily fortified bunker complex surrounded by trenches and anti-personnel minefields. 2 squadrons of South African tanks were assigned to approach the position. They came under heavy fire from 23mm guns as they advanced, with 1 Ratel immobilized. In fierce exchanges, the South Africans destroyed 2 T-55 tanks and forced off 4 others. A lone BM-21, firing from just 150 yards, briefly halted efforts by the Olifants and Rattles to clear a path through the minefields, but it was destroyed by an Olifant, which then became immobilized in a ditch. Under heavy bombardment, the remaining Olifants continued their assault, destroying dozens of bunkers and inflicting severe casualties. After about an hour of fighting, resistance crumbled, and the retreating forces ran straight into 61 Mech. In the confusion, several FAPLA vehicles managed to escape southward. However, the rest, including 4 more tanks, were either destroyed by South African missile teams or abandoned by their crews, who fled on foot. By the time Bad Light halted the attack, 21 Brigade had been pushed out of its positions, which were subsequently occupied by UNITA. Meanwhile, the FAPLA regrouped near Tumpo under the protection of 16 Brigade. The following morning, the South Africans pressed their advantage, attacking FAPLA forces regrouping north of the Angola River, destroying 4 more tanks, 2 BM-21s, and 2 trucks. They also triggered several inaccurate Cuban MiG-23 raids, one of which was shot down by a UNITA Stinger missile. By the end of the 2-day battle, the South Africans had killed more than 250 FAPLA troops, destroyed or captured 9 tanks, 9 artillery pieces, and 8 trucks, suffering only 1 casualty and 2 damaged Rattles. Despite their success in pushing 21 Brigade back toward the river, the South Africans were unable to continue the assault and needed to withdraw to replenish their forces before engaging 66 or 59 Brigades, the next logical targets. That evening, the South Africans withdrew to the Shambinga high ground, leaving UNITA to engage FAPLA over the abandoned positions of 21 Brigade. This decision to withdraw allowed FAPLA to regroup. Due to delays caused by an outbreak of hepatitis, it would be a full month before the next assault was launched, giving the Cuban commanders time to reorganize their forces east of the Cuito River. The near disaster of the 13th of January caused considerable concern and anger in Havana, which had spent the previous month warning Ochoa of an impending attack. As an immediate response, a Cuban tactical group, comprising 1 battalion each of tanks, artillery, and mechanized infantry, was sent from Mech to Cuito Cuanavale, arriving on the 21st of January after being attacked twice by UNITA. Command of Cuito Cuanavale was formally handed to the Cubans, who had already been overseeing the town's defenses since December. On the 17th of January, Castro ordered all FAPLA forces east of Cuito Cuanavale to withdraw to positions closer to the river, thereby reducing their defensive perimeter and minimizing the chance of a breakthrough. Meanwhile, The bulk of the artillery was moved to high ground west of the river, placing it out of range of the South Africans and offering an excellent view of the battle area. Castro's plan was met with resistance from the commanders in Cuito Cuanavale, who feared that such a move could provoke a panicked rush toward the river. They insisted that only 66 Brigade withdraw, leaving the battered FAPLA brigades east of the river exposed when a second, devastating attack came 2 weeks later. Continue watching our videos to learn more about the Angola War.